Hi y'all. This video is primarily for the folks who live in households that are not magically friendly, such as teenagers and young people and even older people who live in households with people who don't believe magically. Now I want to say first of all to the teenagers, there is no bona fide magical path that is on board with you being rebellious relative to your parents and guardians. You need to respect them and appreciate them and express gratitude to them for what they do for you. Rebellion is not a good posture to have when it comes to magical practices or just from a standpoint of overall living. Be respectful and kind and loving and unselfish. Those things go a long way in life, period, magical otherwise. Now, you might want to know, how can you practice your magic when you live somewhere that doesn't support it? Well, some time ago I saw a video that a woman had done. She was saying that when she was a teenager, she had her quote-unquote altar in a shoebox. And her parents were none the wiser because she put it amongst her other shoe boxes, and they thought probably that they were just shoes in the box. But she said she had some little magical things in the shoebox. I can't recall what she put in there, but she did say that she would go into the kitchen and use spices from the household cupboards, and they were none the wiser about that either because, hey, they were just spices, but she would use them in her magical exercises and rituals in her room and then take the spices back to the kitchen. So there are ways to be found if you want it bad enough. If you're earnest and committed, the universe will open doors that allow you to practice your magical delights, so to speak. And also, if you want to learn more about it, you can go to the public library and do research and get books and read up on it. If you can't have the books at home, go to the library and use their books and so forth. And if you're a certain age, you probably can't be on Facebook, as far as your parents' permission. And even if you are old enough to be on Facebook, your parents are probably monitoring what you're doing on there. So again, go to the library. That's one place you can go, and maybe to the bookstore and just browse. Some bookstores allow you to sit in there and read the books without purchasing the books. So those are some ways. And then you can use colors. You can wear certain colors, and there are magical implications to certain colors. You can learn about that on Google. Google spiritual meanings of colors, and you can wear clothing. And I wouldn't say clothing that has, magical looking symbols on them, but you can just pick out like a black outfit or outfit that has black in it, a black top and a different color bottom. You can use red, which indicates passion and fiery or feistiness and things, and your parents wouldn't have to know that you're wearing those particular colors to symbolize certain things that you're into from the magical standpoint. Music, you can use music, you can dance, and you can talk out loud to yourself and do meditation. And people that have privacy issues, you can go into the bathroom, for maybe 5 or 10 minutes and do some meditation or some magical things that infuse you and inject more magical powers into you. And then you have the college students who are in dorms and you can't burn candles, and of course your parents don't want you burning candles in their home or even in homes that adults live in with other adults who don't believe in magical things. You might not be able to burn candles, and some people can burn candles, and you can burn them because there's some people who don't even believe in magic that use candles for romantic purposes. So you can, if you are allowed to burn candles, I wouldn't suggest this for teenagers because sometimes they're, not cautious enough in things. But I mean, grown folks, who are cautious and, wisely using candle, magic, you can, act like you're burning candles for, non-magical reasons. You don't have to explain why you got candles burning. So you can do that. And you can use, now I'm not so sure about the incense, or if you're allowed to use incense. But you can do crystals, and people that, consider crystals demonic, I was explaining to somebody the other day, that crystals, and a lot of Christians consider them to be evil, and anything can be misused, just like the internet can be used for purposes that are pure and purposes that are not pure. But anyhow, I explained to someone the other day that crystals come from the earth, most of them. And they are older than us. They were here before us. They were here before Christianity and other religions. So you can tell people, how can you consider crystals evil and demonic when they were on the planet before we graced the earth? So you can use those explanations. And don't be getting into arguing with folks about magic not being evil. If they ask questions, you can share with them. But just be considerate not to trespass on other people's belief systems, and handle your magical business the best you can in the surroundings that you are presently presented with. You can make ways regardless. Just be creative and inventive, and and delight in your freedoms within mentally. Mental magic is amazing. You can go a lot of places in your mind that nobody else can interfere with or trespass against. So just find ways that will allow you to, do what you can, where you can, how you can, amongst who you can. And don't forget, I was using the word, I mispronounced the word in my previous video. I was talking about, I used the word mudras, but it's actually pronounced, I believe, mudras. But use those. And I'm going to put in the description section a link to my blog, and you can find out information about that. But if you haven't seen the video that I talked about mudras, then you might want to look at that one. And that one is called something like Magical Chips for People on Low Budgets or something like that. Look for that video. It talks about using mudras, and on that video I mispronounced it. But anyway, those are hand symbols, and you can even do some mudras with your feet. So you can use hand symbols even at the dinner table with your hand under the table. And if you feel stressed out being amongst low energy folks, put some mudras into activation. You can use a pyramid symbol with your hands under the tables. If you have to do that, resort to those kind of measures, being quote unquote undercover. And you can use your thumb and your second finger to touch one another, and you can feel the energy surge and flow from that to empower you in those moments when you're not able to be alone and practicing your magical actions and so forth. So there are ways. So thank y'all for listening, and happy magical journeys, y'all. And love, remember, love transcends all differences. So learn and discover more how to love and to transform yourselves, because we cannot change other people, but we can change how we engage with them and change how we respond to them and change our inner selves to be able to be in unbothered mode regardless of what the fuck is going on in the other avenues and lanes. So thank y'all for listening. Bye now.